Yeah, Whispering Gold is the real deal, people. This is a. I mean, this guy is kind of wow. Could he be a nut? Could he be like an East Side Band equivalent?
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
YouTube, what's going on? Horse Racing Gamer. Welcome back to Gallop Racer 2023. This is year 41. New year, new start. Well, not a new start, but you know what I mean. As the cow comes in. Man, I haven't played this game in almost, I think, a month, actually. I pre-recorded a lot, as you guys could see, and I split that video up. So I knew I was going to be really busy, so... we had a good year, but it was tough. It was a really tough year. It was one of my best years I've ever had in this game, as far as what we achieved statistically and how many races we won and how high our winning average was. It was a really good year, and I still felt myself being quite critical at times, which that's just how I am. Like, I always think I can do better, so even if I've done something well, I'm like, okay, I can still improve that. I think you can do that with a lot of things in life in general, but we have a lot of horses, too many, in fact. So half of these horses I will not be racing with probably beyond the halfway part of this year, and that's by design. We got to cut this number down because it took too long to get through that year, and I don't want to do that again. So I believe, you see, I haven't decided because we'll go back to look at the little ones, and then we'll get into racing. But we have to limit how often we do breeding so we don't get overwhelmed with horses. So we're going to have to skip a year, which is pretty much, I was going to do what I do in Gallop Racer 2003. I tend to skip every other year depending on what I want to get out of breeding. And it's not a big deal. At least I know in this game we're not legitimately restricted with free spaces, so we can still do that. And I think that's the best thing, just so we don't have more than 5 or 6 new horses hitting the track every year. That's also what's adding up. We've done breeding every year, and we've always had crops of at least 5 or more, so that adds up, man. You do that for 3 or 4 years, you have 15 or 20 extra horses to race with. That's a lot. So I haven't decided if we're going to do breeding this year. I mean, we can't do breeding this year, now I think about it, because we have 8 new foals coming in from last year's crop. Everybody concede. We have 8 new foals coming in, so we can't do breeding this year. Actually, we're going to have to skip, which we're not missing out. We have a lot of new horses that are going to be hitting the track, so yeah, for some of our most recent retirees, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see them in action, but we still have plenty of great potential superstar East Side Band type of horses that could be on the way in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? So, like, us, prolonging a year of breeding is not going to hurt us at all. It's going to be better, really, so we can, I think, evaluate, the horses that we have. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because we're already going to have, within the next 3 years, I believe, like 19 horses. 2 crops that are back there now, and then the newer ones are going to be born in a couple of months. That's almost 20 extra horses over the next 3 years. We definitely have to skip this year. I don't want it to turn into a prolonged thing where I skip breeding for like years on end, for 3 years straight. But we definitely have to skip this year, and I don't know how next year will look. It depends. If I feel like we still have too many horses, may have to skip next year. It's just to get the number down. I can't enjoy the game playing it with like 30 horses. It's just too much for me personally. And I don't want to actually deal with that many. I would prefer to focus on a smaller number of really high quality horses, and we can all pay attention to that more. When you have 30 horses, it's not impossible, but it's hard to keep track of every single horse's exact progress, right? Sometimes you forget, where are you? How well have you been doing? I mean, for the most part, my memory is good because I've raced with a lot of these horses now quite a bit, so I am familiar with them. But again, it just adds just a different time of I don't know how to put it. But yeah, I was just saying that it just doesn't make the overall playing experience or recording experience as enjoyable because it's just too much going on for me. We don't need 30 horses. You know, we just need the best out of whatever we get. Focus on those, right? And keep, you know, a couple of extra kind of experimental horses around that maybe aren't as statistically, you know, good, or maybe they're not that highly ranked, but maybe they're interesting because of an ability or a certain stat. We'll keep those horses around. But other horses that just aren't going to really help us long term, like Marksman, I'm still trying to figure out. This is a big year for him. He'll be at his peak. He's close to it. So I guess I'm still trying to decide if he could be something for us in the future, because he doesn't have really any bad stats. They're just not super high except for the power rating. And he has bears as well, from Fairy Singer on a Butterfly Effect. I think he got that from Fairy Singer. I don't recall Butterfly Effect having bears. Somebody in her pedigree may have. Yeah, I don't recall her ever getting affected with that. So, you know, like, this is a weird horse. Like, why would you give a horse Spurt, Last Corner Leader, and Bears? Which, that's really me talking to myself, but I wasn't expecting that ability. Like, I don't recall. Does Fairy Singer have that? I know I can't check from here, but I'm just trying to remember. I can't remember if Fairy Singer has. Does he? I can't recall, but I'm still gonna give Marksman a chance. Or have I given up on Marksman? I haven't raced Marksman since last year. Huh. He finished 3rd in a Grade 1 in October, and then he finished 11th in an or 10th in an Open. Well, I guess I should look at my notes. If he's not in my notes, I definitely decided I guess I wasn't going to use him anymore. I was just having a conversation about that recently, but if he's not in my notes, I definitely said I'm not using him. Yeah, I have him crossed out, so I guess I'm letting him go. I mean, I really don't like, he's not that good of a horse where I want to use him with bears. I bring it up about the ability all the time. If a horse has that bears ability, which you can see kind of right there in the middle of the screen under the Spurt ability, if a horse has that, they have to be really good for me. And usually I attribute that to, like, winning multiple Grade 1s in a row. Marksman can't do that. He's not that type of horse, unfortunately. You know, he came out with, like, good stats from his mother, but again, none of them were super high, and I just think it just kind of keeps him from really hitting a powerful ceiling. And he needs a higher stamina rating. 68 is not bad, but to have that ability, it's got to be higher. That's why Valley King, to me, was a great horse, and why I retired him, because Valley King had bears, but it never affected him in any of his races, because he had high speed and he had higher than usual speed and stamina ratings that were at least both high to keep him competitive. I think 78 equally for both of those stats when he was at his peak. He wasn't the fastest or the most endurable horse on track, but his stats were high enough to make him outlast a lot of the other horses that didn't have that had basically imbalances in their stats. High speed, lower stamina, or high stamina, low speed. Valley King balanced those out. That's why he was able to be so good. Marksman is not that type of horse. He's not that strong. Not in that comparison. Now, he could have a decent year this year, you know, as a 4-year-old. To be honest, I am going to race on him one time since I haven't raced with him in a year. I'm surprised the game hasn't taken him away. I have not raced with him in literally 1 year, 1 full year. And he's still around. I swear, I want the game to take my horses away after I'm just, like, done with them, because I'm like, they're not going to help, or I just don't like their preferences and their stats. They stay around forever, right? And then the horses that I don't want the game to take away, they're the ones that are gone quicker than I can even, you know, think. So it's just a Gallop Racer thing, but I should give him a ride here. Not till March. I would rather ride him, you know, sooner than that to see how he'll do. He's at the point where he should be able to win a Grade 3 at the minimum. We'll have a little bit of a handicap. I'll do that in February. I really like the Grade 2. It was the same distance, and I don't think he will have had a handicap. But if he's actually going to be... If he's worth a horse for me to kind of give another shots as I can still race with him. Like, he's got to win that grade 3 pretty convincingly. If he struggles with a grade 3, I'm just, yeah, then I'm 100% over it. And Marksman will just be a horse that we run against on, my other horses. So I think everybody is good for races, I think. I think I did this before I ended the last episode. Oh, can't remember to check the comments. Precious Scene. We were talking about this horse in the YouTube comments. I have Precious Scene. I think you said to look for him. I actually have him. I picked him up because I saw him and I'm like, well, I know how good of a horse he is, and I never had worked with him previously playing the game. I'm like, okay, let me give him a chance. Instant response and delicate. Bates rode him. I forgot I didn't schedule him in a race towards the end of the year. That's why, Bates ran on him. But he keeps his winning streak alive. He helped me out. So, that was a blunder on my part for getting to schedule him for a race. But, what is he scheduled for? Okay, grade 2 Tampa. Yeah, that should be good. So, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of good horses, but again, we really have to focus on Dream Series capable winning horses. That just has to be the bar across the board, so that's how I have to treat it, I think everybody's ready to go. Hopefully you guys are doing well. It's been a while. It's been a lot going on, obviously, I think, in the world, unfortunately. So, just a reminder to just always count your blessings and just hope everybody's staying safe and, finding some sort of peace. So, let's just go ahead and get into a race here. But yeah, we have to skip breeding for this year, for sure. Maybe next year. I won't make that decision yet, but we have to slow down the amount of horses we're getting. That's the only way that's one of the better and only ways I'm going to, reduce the number of horses we're racing with. Got to start at part of the source. And again, naturally, if I feel like horses aren't going to be worth it long term to continue racing throughout their career, I'm going to stop racing them. If I realize that after 3 races, then hey, it is what it is. I play the game long enough where, you guys, I think if you've been watching me for a while, you're kind of getting the overall vibe of the type of horses I like to work with and the ones that I seem to do well with, right? So if I don't have a horse that fits that, that mold or that filter, like, yeah, it's just kind of a waste of time. I don't enjoy the game that way. Like, I don't think anybody should play the game racing with horses that you don't enjoy racing with. That would take me out of the experience, you know what I mean? So, like, if I'm not feeling the vibe with them, I could care less what their stats are. If I'm not clicking with them, I'm going to let them go because it's just, if I can't figure it out, if it's not clicking, it's not worth continuing to try to me. Like, you're better off letting it go and finding something better that's going to suit you more. You just have to be patient. That's the thing. A great horse can pop up, or you breed one, and sometimes it just may not be that good of a horse, or it just has a weird quirk that prevents it from being like an awesome horse. You just have to let it go. You'll get more horses. We'll always get more horses at Gallop Racer. We shouldn't operate with like a limited mindset. If a horse is not working out, might be better just to, let it go and just kind of move on and kind of figure it out from there. But Little Vixen, she'll kick off today. Grade 3 Alcatraz. I'll be retiring her. I think this is going to be like her last race. She's still extremely fun to work with, but I'll retire her once we can. Once the new foals are born, I can move some of those broodmares out of there. Gosh, she's 7 years old. She basically peaked at like 3.5. So she's been running well beyond her peak for now 3 years, and she's still been winning, man. And she's still been competitive. So the goal for this year is to obviously really narrow our focus on horses we want to retire between this season and next season, because the Dream Series is already going to be back at the end of next season. So starting officially now with this race with Little Vixen, we basically have under 2 years until the Dream Series is back. It's not a lot of time. It'll be here before we know it, especially once I start racing with less horses. It'll definitely make the time go by. So yeah, we have 24 in-game months to kind of finalize the horses that we want to try to sweep the Dream Series with. I have to remind people that maybe are new to the channel and the series, we beat the Dream Series. I won it in the total points. We finished in first, but we didn't win every single race. We finished some races in second. To kind of move to that next level in this game, you have to win all those races with an original horse, which I have not done yet. So that's why that's where our focus is. That's why we have to really focus on our strongest horses that we think can give us good upside for the future and the Dream Series. That's how I'm treating it. You know what I mean? Oh, beautiful break. I'm actually really surprised I was able to navigate the traffic like that and get a revolution on my first time playing, and it's been over a month. It's been a long time. That really doesn't happen. When I come back to this game, sometimes I can start off pretty well, but not to the point where it's like I'm in rhythm with the horse that's, you know, racing as a 7-year-old mare 3 years past her prime, and she can still kick butt in graded stakes competition. But that's really a testament to Little Vixen, who's comes from one of our best filly mares that we've ever had in Pink Gemstone. Pink Gemstone was that type of horse her whole life. She was always competitive. So Little Vixen's been great. I can't wait to use her. So like I said, it'll be nice to kind of have that anticipation of finally getting around to using her and some of the other horses with her that will be retiring this year for breeding. I think it'll be worth the wait because they were really amongst our best horses we've had in the game so far. Little Vixen, Glam Queen, Classy and Smart, EastsideBand, Delta Dream. You know, all of these horses have really been Angel Hearts, what he's doing as a 3-year-old. All these horses are doing incredible things for us. So we know we have a really bright future ahead because we have literally dozens of now double S horses. Like, remember when we were just starting to first get our couple and it was like, oh, this is... Now we're at the point where, yeah, we're going to get double S horses more often than not now. So we're there, you know, and EastsideBand is proof of that. Eastern Knife, up in the grade 3 Miami Golden, running 10. Eastern Knife I've titled him in videos. The guy is OP. Like, look at this. Eastern Knife is cracked. I never played with him in this game. I'm just like, let me give it a shot. And yeah, he's everything as advertised. If you see him, pick him up. There's no reason not to. Lose his will, that's like the downside, but he has other abilities that essentially counteract that. Pack Passer, Tough, Grit. I mean, those all make up for Lose his will to me. And then he has everything else for the auto abilities. Slow tracks are okay. He can run on the rough. Impost is not going to affect you. He's he's too stacked of a horse, man. 94 heart, 89 stamina. He can have 75 speed. He's stacked everywhere else. He's at his peak right now. I'm just getting him tuned up. He should have an awesome 5-year-old campaign. Potentially could be Horse of the Year. I'm calling it now. That's if EastsideBand doesn't swipe it away from him for the 3rd time in a row, because she's won Horse of the Year the last 2 years. Keep that in mind. So, EastsideBand is like no other. I said it in my last video. I am starstruck, so to speak. But the Eastern Knife, I think, could have that type of year this year as well. Because I'm going to put him in everything. Like, I mean, as far as, like, serious, like, GWS title chasing, I think he deserves to get a title. But again, like, we need horses in the Hall of Fame that could actually win the Dream Series that are our own originals. That's actually more important. But I can chase whatever I want with the Eastern Knife. He's pretty stacked for a lot of different titles you want to chase, so... That's kind of the game plan. But I'll figure it out. Like, I still have to get back into the loop of things, like, as far as remembering exactly which of our horses this year should be the main focus. Like, I need to run a couple races and kind of start to remember who we were focusing on. Who was that at the front? Fine, like, that was a horse I recognized. Nope. Wing Cat and Fine Asset? It's actually this is a pretty tough field. Those aren't bad horses. I used Wing Cat, I think, in Gallop Racer 3 on the PC. Yeah, Wing Cat, I think... Yeah, Wing Cat gave me a pretty good horse somewhere. Let's go, my boy. Rebel... I promise, I haven't played in a month. Revolution again with the Eastern Knife, and he's gonna, like I said, the horse is cracked. I don't really know what else to say about Eastern Knife. He's really, really, really good in this game, man. So, like, if you see him, you're kind of a fool not to pick him up because he's that type of horse. 2 revolutions in a row. That's really unusual. I'm happy. It's just like, wow. Like when I play this game, I never know how I'm going to start when I haven't played in a while. Sometimes I start well, and then other times it's clear I haven't played. So I never know what to really expect. But 7 length winner in that grade 3 crushes it. Cosmic Trial, yeah. Gosh, that was a pretty stacked field. These are like some pretty good horses. That if it, like grade 1s were around now, they're not at this early point in the season. Fine Asset finished in last. That's shocking. These are horses that easily run in grade 1s. That was a stacked grade 3, and Eastern Knife absolutely crushed it. No shocker there. And for Eastern Knife, that's going to be his 3rd grade 3 victory, I believe. No, that's his 1st grade 3. Wow. He has 2 grade 2s, a grade 1. That's his 1st grade 3. So stepping it up here as he hits its peak. So we race with Eastern Knife and Little Vixen, who also won another grade 3. I almost forgot to record that. That was her 2nd that I started to record. She's won more than that, I think, but they're further back in her career, and I wasn't recording in my spreadsheet at the time. Don't know why. I don't think I was ready to the extra commitment, but it's actually helped me stay way more focused and understand what's going on with my horses once I look back at what it is. So I'm not going to put her in the Royal Cup. I'll save that for another horse that might benefit. I mean, she's done. That was her last race. I'll put her in this grade 3 Bahama. She's not going to run it because she'll be retired by then. So I think maybe you know what? Let me just extend it just to make sure. Put her in this. Yep, in post high, whatever. So that'll be it for her, and we'll retire her after we can make space for her in the breeding barn once the new foals are born. So that's that for Little Vixen, and then Eastern Knife. 5-year-old at his peak. Like I said, he's cracked, and we're on a winning streak. I don't know how many races it's been, but you can see our last 3 wins. And 15.5 furlongs. Big win. King Cup Autumn, that race can usually bring pretty competitive fields, even though it's a domestic grade 1 in this game, as opposed to the international ones. Like, you can get tough fields for the King Cup Autumn. It's not a race to sleep on. I know it's one of the biggest races in Japan, obviously, if not their biggest, technically. So it's a big deal. Like, it's not a sleeper of a grade 1. He's got 8 grade 1s on his total report. 14 wins out of 17 starts, and he's never finished worse than 2nd. It's been 1st or 2nd for this guy his whole career. Yeah, Eastern Knife is the real deal, man. The real deal. And he runs at 10 furlongs perfectly, so. Does he have a title yet? I don't even remember. He has Long Champ, okay. Can he run on the dirt? Because I'm surprised I haven't gotten him a mid-champ title yet. I'm probably scared to risk it because he's been on this winning streak. I know it really doesn't mean anything. It's more so just kind of like a personal record, you know, that you can keep with the horse. But I'm sure the game takes it into consideration at some point, but I don't know how much. You know, that's I feel like that's a harder thing they would have had to program. Like, oh, this horse had a winning streak for 18 races, so this adds plus 2% to, like, I don't know if they went that far with like the algorithm. They could have. I'm not saying they didn't, but. This grade 215, I might send him here in the Toronto Stakes. That might be a really good tune-up because, granted, he's already won a Long Champ title. I don't have to run him at these distances, but I think these type of races, he's really strong in. And I don't mind running the longer distances with a horse like Eastern Knife that can handle it like a pro. But you know what? I'd actually run him a little bit shorter because grade 1s... I don't really know what I'm trying to do with Eastern Knife grade 1 wise yet. I still need time for that. I need, like, beyond this episode, I need to kind of really think on that because it's an important year for him. I want to make sure I utilize it with him to the best of his ability. I'll put him in this grade 2, Jacksonville, 12.5. That's easy work. And, yeah, so we're racing 2 grade 3s today with Cafe Bronco. It's been looking strong. We're on a winning streak with him. He's 3 for 3 with a grade 1 as he starts his 3-year-old campaign, 79 power rating. And then we have another grade 3 with Formal Method, who's 4 years old. She's still really good, even though she technically peaked last year. She'll probably still be good for a while. The fact that she had 90 plus speed, I mean, she's not going to slow down until she's like 6, you know. So she's a dirt horse I can race for a while. And the real unfortunate thing of, you know, my career with her so far is I haven't really raced her in her preferred distance. But again, there's not a lot of dirt grade ones in this game that run between 6 and 8 furlongs. Most of them run over 8 furlongs. So like, this is my problem with Formal Method. She's just like kind of a weird, quirky horse where she has not a great stamina rating, and she's a front runner, so she has to set the pace regardless. And yeah, she runs a distance that hardly has races for her distance. You know what I mean? She's really weird in that way. So I don't want to waste her. I think she'll be a good broodmare, but I gotta find out. I have to find a way to win with her. I won the Tokyo Cup last time out barely. Like, she pretty much gassed at the line and we just held on. So I can't win with her like that. I have to find a consistent winning method. She's been in a lot of tough grade ones that were outside of her distance, except for that World Sprint Dirt. She finished second as a third favorite. That was actually a good effort. So I think I'm doing better with her as of the last 2 races. I want to continue to build on that. And we'll see how we do here today, right now. But I think winning with her is more important than anything. Like, if I can't get a title with her, yes, it'd be a shame, but we've had great broodmares be proven. Title winning is not necessarily always needed for you to have a horse that can give you good foals for breeding. Like, I'm sure it helps, but sometimes you just need a really good horse with a good race record overall as far as the amount of races they won and finish in the top 3 with. And if you have a lot of that, the game definitely weights that and takes that into consideration when it comes to how it kind of does the RNG for our foals. So don't neglect like overall race wins, even if they're not grade ones. I'm telling you, it does make a difference. God Mountain Stakes, grade 3, 8 furlongs, running a mile in San Francisco, cloudy day. Cafe Bronco hits the stage here. Second favorite behind Common Inspector. Common Inspector is that not a horse that we lost? Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely our horse. Yeah, Gentle House and Black Ruby. Yeah, Common Inspector is not in my notes at all. There was something about him I didn't like. I can't remember what, but he's no longer a part of the program. So, yeah, we'll let him go. Beautiful horse. It's really a shame. I should have kept him for that, but we just can't. You know, we can't do that anymore. Sometimes, like, a horse still has to be practical and make sense for us to keep it around. But he's a beautiful horse. I just couldn't figure him out. I don't know. It's weird. I've had success with all of Gentle House's foals. He's like the one that just was a weird anomaly, and that might be because of his broodmare, Black Ruby here. So, like I said, beautiful guy. Such a shame. But we're running against him. He's the favorite. If he beats me, then kudos. But Cafe Bronco's the real deal. Buy Gentle House out of Tigris of Stone. Again, point proven. Here's a Gentle House foal that I'm doing extremely. We're 3 for 3 with a grade 1, and he's a 3-year-old colt just starting his 3-year-old campaign. So like Cafe Bronco's on a roll. That's what I mean. Common Inspector was just kind of a weird dude. Couldn't figure him out. I love all my horses, but sometimes it just doesn't work, you know. So 132-1 is the record. Gotta get a 3rd revolution in a row. Just because I said it, I probably jinxed myself. I should have just stayed quiet, shouldn't I have? Gosh darn it. Well then, guess we'll just have to win the old-fashioned way if it comes down to that, which is all the same, really. I mean, the revolution just more so guarantees to win. I still prefer to win without it. You know, it does take my immersion a little bit out of the game, because then it turns into like this, like, what is this, Dragon Tales, you know, Gallop Racer Acceleration. Some of you are probably way too young to even know what Dragon Tales are. But for anybody that's probably closer to my age, you know, like that, it is more so a millennial to some extent. Like, you at some point grew up watching Dragon Tales, or at least you knew of it. If you were probably closer to my age, like closer to the 90s, you grew up watching Dragon Tale, or you knew of it. Like, our kid shows back then were very distinctive, very unique. The kid shows today, I'm not judging. I don't know what's happening. So, not the greatest run for Cafe Bronco here, as I feel like I've kind of pushed him a little too early. Can he hold on? No, the force is coming. And here comes Common Inspector to blow past us at the line. And Cafe Bronco's actually going to squander this one away from a bad ride with me. And I jinxed myself. I should have just stayed quiet. Probably would have got the Revo. 6th place for Cafe Bronco in a grade 3. He was supposed to finish second in. And Common Inspector actually smoked us by 2 lengths over Marble Result. So not only is that a terrible race for us, the stablemate that I decided to let go actually smoked us. But for those of you that have been really paying attention to what I say in these videos, I have talked about this, right? I've talked about this in previous episodes. I said I wanted to get to a point in the game where if I released a horse that I personally wasn't feeling or just didn't like the connection of, I want that horse to be competitive against us. That motivates me to continue to raise the bar myself and to continue to look for other horses and take, the considerations of what you guys suggest as far as horses I should look for as well. Just an overall collective effort in the community to just kind of build super horses. So the fact that we can actually get beat by one of our horses I let go just because, like I said, I didn't like the way it felt working with the horse. I just couldn't figure it out. I like horses that are very easy to understand. Like, I don't need to prove anything to myself. Like, the point is to do well with your horses. Your riding style is just a preference of that. It's just a different taste of it. We all have different tastes, and that's just my thing. I don't want to have to fight the horse. That's not fun for me. I know that's a trait that some people like. It's like driving. It's like motorsports. There are certain drivers that kind of like a car. They have to wrestle and fight. Me, I like something that doesn't give me a super hard time. You know what I mean? I like to just kind of have things flow. So Common Inspector just couldn't flow for me, but great. I mean, he has Gentle House in him. He's strong, no doubt. And like I said, I just couldn't figure out the best way to get in rhythm with him. So best thing to do is just to let him go and see how he runs. I mean, if he wins races, great. That's going to be a great rival for us. Again, I kind of get bored seeing the same AI horses that you run against and compete against every year. It'd be nice to see some new names that are technically horses you create that could end up being stronger than some of the in-game horses, right? You're adding, you're just adding new talent to the pool, so to speak, and it kind of freshens things up. It raises the bar and it keeps you, focused on making better horses. That's just the way I like to enjoy the game, and I'm glad to hear that I wasn't the only one. I know I saw a couple of you also kind of do the same thing every now and then, so I think it's good. I would encourage more people to do that. You let a horse go, just see how it does, and look forward to competing against it. Just look at it like a new rival. Anyways, grade 3 on the dirt, 6 furlong sprint, formal method. She's the second favorite behind Silver World. Winner place, 6 furlongs. This is a race she should win. There's really no excuse, so I have to figure it out. That was a really bad race with Cafe Bronco. Ay. That was not good. Not good at all. So, yeah, we need to redeem ourselves here. I definitely felt like he was running a bit hard, and I just kind of zoned out and didn't really get that under control. That's typically what happens in those races. I will zone out on the backstretch. You guys have seen and probably heard me do it before, and I've talked about it. And the next thing I know, I'm either pushing a horse too much or I'm not pushing them enough, and then, it's too late to recover. Like, the stretch run will punish you for that if you don't get it right. Now, she's supposed to be at the front. I don't like the pace. That's why I've been trying to, kind of nudge her to there. Like, 10-9 fraction is kind of insane to run on the backstretch there. So, okay, let's see how she responds here. Again, she gets tired really quickly, so I don't have a lot of time to work her in the stretch. She's got plenty of stamina here today. I've may have managed her well, but this is what I mean. Like, she doesn't kick. She is one of those horses that just doesn't kick for me. And she still somehow holds on to win at the very end. I said it as soon as we hit the bottom part of the stretch. I'm like, it's going to be tough. And we just hold on to win. This is what I was just talking about a couple minutes ago. I don't want to win like this with her, but I just don't get it, man. She's such a weird horse. There's no kick. I just can't get it out of her. I can't. and still we're winning, which to me really is just a testament to how strong she is as a horse. That's the thing. If her stats weren't at the levels that they were, yeah, we would not be winning those races. She's carrying me for the part that just can't figure out how to really, work with her best. But that's a grade 3 victory for formal method, and that's why I said I wanted to do. I want to win with her, but I don't want to win like that. That's not pretty. And they're giving me S for the spurt. Like, if she just had like another 7 or 8 points of stamina, that would make a huge difference. She just gets tired no matter what, because she's really explosive when she starts to take off. But again, she doesn't have a kick. It's not like an extra gear, even though it feels like there should be. There's no extra gear with her. I just can't figure it out. Even the whatever good races I have on with her, which I think that's her 4th win. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's only my 4th win with her. That's 2 in a row, and that's 3 good performances of me hitting my goals or higher. Beating the goal. So, like, I'm winning with her now, at least I'm showing more consistency. But it's like, we're barely winning. I just, like, what is it about her? Is the power rating affecting her on the dirt more than I anticipated or more than I thought? I know power rating affects you hugely on turf, but somebody answer me this in the video comment section or even in the Discord, even though it'll probably be a couple days afterwards. But it'll be good to know because I'll probably be taking a break recording between now and then. Do you think the power rating is actually affecting her on dirt more than I realize? Her temper and response are okay. They're not great, but like that's not what's dragging her down. That's not what's making it like she's struggling. She has a good staying ability too, 86. I'm not running her that hard. Now, granted, a lot of the races she's been in, because she's a front runner and I've had to set her to the pace, a lot of the races have been fast. And that's also a product of just the racing she's been subjected to. Like, there haven't been a lot of races where there have been slow front running. Like, we've always been challenged. There's always an AI horse trying to challenge us for the lead and wanting to run low 11-second fractions and 10-9 fractions. That has been a normal thing. So it's almost as if I haven't even been able to race her in just normal conditions on top of that. It's too much going on. But she's a good horse, and I'm just trying to find a better spot to win more comfortably by 2 lengths. I'm winning by like head-to-head finish, like head and shoulder finishes, really. That's not convincing. And we can lose a race like that at any time if a really good horse comes through. So I have to figure that part of it out with her. But it's been hard, man. I don't know what it is. She tires out. I try to run her as slightly as I possibly can. Like I said, we're typically victims of chasing the pace. I wish she wasn't a front runner. I keep saying this. If she was a proceeder, I could coast her along in 2nd or 3rd, 8 lengths behind the leader if I wanted to. And I guarantee you I would be winning with her more. 58 stamina on a front runner that wants to run sprint paces. In all honesty, in this game, they're usually pretty fast. Like, the sprint races in this game are very quick and very aggressive at the starts and all the way through. So you need a horse with good endurance that's not going to gas out from running essentially at full throttle, most of that race. And 80 to 90% the whole way. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. That's why sprinters can be gassed. We've all watched horse racing. We've seen them race in person before. You can tell when some of those horses are just gassed, man. Like, they're running a 5 or 6 furlong dash. You can tell. They hit the stretch and still a furlong left to go, and they're gassed. They're out of it, Like, that's a lot to ask of an animal or a human being, whatever. That's why sprints are very intense, So she doesn't have the stamina for it. I think that really does affect her. I think that should not be, overlooked. Like, I wish I could run her in this, but again, she doesn't have the stamina for it. 10.5. 9.5, she doesn't have the stamina for that. This is what I mean. There's not even a lot of options for her on the dirt. There really isn't. And she's not a turf horse. So, this is what I mean by weird. The game put together a weird horse. She's good. I know she'll be worth it, but again, you have to do a lot of what feels like acrobatic work to like get around her weaknesses and kind of put her in more ideal situations. Other horses is a lot easier to kind of get them into the races and not have to really look. Like, I have to really look for formal method because she can't run a lot. So like I said, it's a weird situation, and I'm trying my best to navigate it. Like, there's nothing for her until April. And that's the thing, I can't even race her that often. I'm not putting her back in the GWS. Like, there's nothing great at stake she can run at a reasonable distance. I'm not running her 10 furlongs anymore. It's just not fair, and I don't want to struggle with it like that. I'll have to put her in an open. That's it. Like, you know, I'm kind of limited with what I can do with formal methods. It's a little bit unfortunate. Cafe Bronco, man, we got smoked, brother. We got smoked. Common Inspector is gone and absolutely smoked ya. And that's the thing. I think they're also the same. I think they're the same age. So, yeah, imagine getting smoked by your stablemate, bro. That I let go. That is not a good look. And his 3-race winning streak comes to a terrible end there. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. And still have to, you know, he doesn't have a great heart rating either. So once he gets past, he's not going to have a huge answer for it. So that's unusual of horses from Tigers of Stone. They've always been very gutsy. So not a great heart rating on him. So we'll have to be mindful of that. But I also have to make sure I put him in the right positions to win. I didn't have him in the best chance to succeed, and that's why we finished in 6th. So that's my, you know, responsibility to put him in a better spot. We'll run him in another grade 3. Maybe Common Inspector will be there. Probably not, but it would be fun to race against him again. Maybe try to actually one-up him. All right, so gotten a couple done so far, and probably do another 2 here. So make sure I keep these spread out for you guys so you guys have multiple videos. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Whispering Gold's going up against Silver Arrow. Great. It's already looking like it's going to be a tough year. No surprise. I'm all game for it. Cruel Weapon against Pearly Ball. I mean, Pearly Ball is really, I think we're coming into good form with him. We're on a winning streak. 7 wins out of 10 starts. Winning streak again. So, yeah, I mean, we have good things going, obviously. But, you know, we're just trying to narrow down. So we'll get those 2 knocked out. Hopefully we can really start reducing the number of horses we have next 6 months. That's my goal. It's going to be tricky still, though. But hopefully we can get it done. Another grade 3, Key West Stakes, 10 furlongs. Whispering Gold. I think I've been doing well with him so far. There he is. Got the black and yellow scheme going. 90 heart rating. Bind Gentle House out of Chasing Hearts. Counterclockwise not good, but outside of that, he should be really solid for us. So he's a Proceeder. Good leg type. And he already has 2 grade 1s as well. So already 2 grade 1s. 6 and 10. So Whispering Gold. Showing he's putting himself in that tier 1 category. But would you expect nothing less from a horse out of Gentle House, or by Gentle House, out of Chasing Hearts? Let me say that correctly. You see, if I could do this with formal method, I guarantee you, I would be winning in much better, convincing fashion. She just needs to, like, chase the leader. Or not even chase the leader, she just needs to be behind the leader for formal method, but it's not meant to be. Fortunately for Whispering Gold, yeah, Proceeder makes it so easy to work with him. Like, as long as I don't have to be in first, I don't have to worry about the pace. I can just, you know, I can follow the leader, but I don't have to be on the leader's butt. If the leader wanted to be 8 lanes ahead, I'm not chasing him. I will stay 8 lanes behind. And I'll, you know, keep my rhythm going. I'm running with him right now because it's not it's a pretty slow pace. You know what I mean? It's like, this is comfortable. If the pace is too fast, I'll let the fast runners run it. Like, I don't have to chase that, you know? So looking good here for Whispering Gold. And, yeah, we are the favorite, so it should be a pretty easy race for us. He's got the lungs to handle it. And he's gone. And a Revolution, 3rd of the day. I think that's 50% Revolutions, actually, of the 6 races I would have done. Yeah, Whispering Gold is the real deal, people. This is a... I mean, this guy is kind of... Wow. Could he be a nut? Could he be like an EastsideBand equivalent? I wonder. Because he's really good. Oh, man. Whispering Gold, dude. You might actually be a gem. 5-length winner over Silver Arrow, who was then 7 lengths behind Cosmic Unicorn, which is where the rest of the field was. So we really effectively won by 12 lengths, more or less. Another perfect race, and Whispering Gold naps his first grade 3. Yeah, I'm getting EastsideBand vibes from that dude, man. That was pretty convincing and easy. And his stats are also representing that. He has a great heart rating. His power is almost 80 at the 80 rating. So we'll keep an eye on Whispering Gold. That dude really might be, I think, a better horse than we're seeing. Grade 2 here, 12 furlongs with Pearly Ball. Bolero's Gal is here. We lost her early on. She's old now. She's 6 years old, still kicking, still running, which is great to see still. There she is. Couldn't figure her out. She was weird. And it's a shame because I never got a chance to race her at this level. I lost her 3 years ago. You know, long live Bolero Irish Fleet. She was a project horse. Again, trying to extend the bloodline of the great Bolero because so many of his horses just kind of failed. Couldn't figure her out. She is the second favorite, and she is pretty tough. She finishes relatively well. Compared to some of our other horses we've lost that just would never finish in the top 3. Like, she's a competitive horse. If they say she's a second favorite, then she's a legitimate second favorite. I just couldn't figure her out, you know, in the beginning. Horses like her with weird combination of stats or abilities, if they're quirky and they have a sustained growth type, sometimes I lose them because I just don't have enough time to figure them out, you know. She's a horse I would have needed more time to really figure out, and potentially it could have turned into something. You know, but that's the thing. The game, you know, if it says you've had your chances and they take the horse away, that's it. And again, I don't stress that anymore because it's not worth it. I just have to accept if I can't figure it out, I can't figure it out. I'll get other horses. I'll ride other horses, you know. I see this is an example of a race where the leader is 8, I'm going to say 6 to 8 lengths out in front. I'm not going to chase the leader. Pearly Ball, like the last race with Whispering Gold, is a procedure that doesn't have to actually be in first, doesn't have to be even behind the leader. Immediately, you can sit well off the pace like we're doing back here, and whoever that is, Bolero's Gal, I forgot, she is a front runner. Yeah, that's kind of weird that the Bolero horses have started to inherit that front runner ability because Bolero was not a front runner. He was a preceder to mid, I think. Definitely a preceder. But he was not a front runner, and like almost all Bolero's sons and daughters ever since have been front runners. So, kind of really interesting to see where the pedigree has gone. Rapid Blade is the only hope. I lost Bolero's Gal. We'll never race with her again, but Rapid Blade is the only hope, and I really have to have a good year with her this year. So, Pearly Ball on the move here. Okay, gotta go run her down. Gotta run her down. Pearly Ball is much stronger than Bolero's Gal. No disrespect. Is that a little disrespectful? It might be, but it's the truth. That's also the thing. Yeah, just couldn't figure out. Close race, definitely gassed him, pushed him a little bit hard, but we get it done. We get it done most importantly. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't wait too long in the stretch, because sometimes if you wait too long, it does kind of stunt your horse's momentum. I'm like, okay, I'd rather send him sooner. And if it's close at the end, he'll have enough where he would have put a big enough gap. Still wins by a length of 3/4. Bolero's Gal, she finished in third. She didn't totally drop off. We kind of went past her. But again, she's not a bad horse, but I didn't have the time to figure her out. So it is what it is. Wow, back-to-back wins there with Whispering Gold. Looks like a potential EastsideBand in the making in the Pearly Ball. Taking that grade 2. So it's a good start. I mean, Cafe Bronco is the only race I dropped. We're hitting our marks with everybody else. So that's a good way to start the year. Yeah, Burley Ball, winning streak, absolutely rolling, 8-12 on the turf. I'm kind of sending him wherever. I don't really have any plans with him right now, so it's kind of nice to just race him like I'm doing. I'll put him in the grade 9 this game. Kind of keep him in these lower stake grade races until grade 1s pop up. Whispering Gold. Let's check you out, dude. A ranked, so still hasn't jumped to the S tier, but yeah, 3 for 4, 2 grade 1s already as a 3-year-old. Has a finish worse than second. So the breaking, the toughness rating 32, terrible. So he's more or less at his peak, close to it, and we aren't going to be able to race him a lot. That's what the game says according to his toughness rating. I mean, if we do race him, it's going to be very long breaks the older he gets because he doesn't have a good health recovery rating essentially. So he takes a while to recover, but I feel like as long as he's winning, he'll keep his conditioning higher in the green than usual. Winning definitely affects your horse's morale in this game. If you're not winning, then yeah, I think sometimes it does take longer for them to recover. But if you're winning and doing consistent, getting consistent results with them, they'll stay in the green more often than not. But eventually, if you are over racing them, they will be tired. That is inevitable. But winning definitely helps. I've noticed that. So don't neglect it. That's what I'm saying. If the grade 1s aren't there, win those opens, win those grade 2s, win those grade 3s. It is very important for everything that you want your horse to do. So don't neglect it. Put him in we'll put him in a grade 2. We'll step it up. Top 3 go to the Azalea Cup. I'm fine putting him on that path. He felt really strong in that race, man. I could care less what, the less than 70 stats say. But he felt really strong. I wonder what his speed and stamina are. I can't wait to find that out. Because that was really convincing. And he felt, like I said, really strong there. So I'd like to see what he can turn into. So we have a bunch of races here that I will say for the next episode. Because we'll have Rock Your Hurricane trying to figure out this 3-year-old by Golden Boy out of Free Fear. 3 races, no wins. We're hitting our goals, but we're not winning, which is unusual. And, Rocky Hurricane, he is having a little bit of a slower growth type. But 39 power rating for a turf horse, not good. Not good, Jack. Not good at all. So that's definitely going to hurt his performance. So I'm a little bit worried about him. Totally prepared to, let him go if it feels like he's not going to turn into a horse that we can utilize long term. Such a shame. I mean, I named him after one of my favorite songs, but if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. I cannot get that attached to it. We have to be smarter. Irish Hill will be up. This is a project horse I bought, not because of the stats at the top part, but because of the leg type and the abilities. I think this would be, if I could pair him with the right broodmare. I've struggled to do that in this game to some extent. With like the weaker studs, I've been able to do it with weaker broodmares, but with weaker studs, it's been hard to really get a good horse pairing them with the stronger broodmare. But hopefully, I can get that figured out at some point. Storm Owl, no, he's kind of turning into a channel favorite, and he should. He's a beautiful guy, and I'm glad I didn't give up on him, and I'm glad he's showing that he wasn't worth giving up on. Yeah, absolutely beautiful, man. And this is pretty solid, right? 80, that his heart rating may hit 90 at some point still before it starts to drop, but this is pretty solid, man. 9 to 11 furlongs, but I can obviously run him a little bit shorter or longer depending on the race and the competition. Good abilities, nothing bad. And he's on a winning streak, so I was hoping Storm Owl would show his worth, and he's starting to show it finally as a 5-year-old. Better late than never. And the Major River, she's on a roll. She'll be up in the Kyoto on the dirt. And we've been on a winning streak with her. We're on quite a few winning streaks with a number of our horses. So like I said, I'm actually doing really well, and we're clearly in the right rhythm. Competitive field. So it looks like it's going to be another tough year, which, again, is really good because we're seeing where we level up to some of the best horses in the game. And we're still able to match. With the right horses, we're matching the best horses in the game. So that's a pretty good level to be at. So hope you guys have enjoyed. And I will continue to mix in champion horse racing as well. I have said multiple times I really want to get that game more involved in the channel. It's fun. I definitely have been enjoying playing it more. And again, now that we can do breeding, I know how to do breeding. I even have more. I can get like I think 8 more horses in that game now from breeding. So I plan on doing that a little bit more. And yeah, trying to actually become higher ranked in the world. So that's also a fun thing going on. And Rival Stars, I've been dabbling in that a little bit, just kind of on my off time, and I've actually been enjoying it. So just trying to keep the variety of content on the channel fresh, and we'll continue to progress here. So until next time, Horse Racing Gamer out. I'll have a fantastic day. I'll see you later, and goodbye.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.